The Outsiders. It's a book, it's a movie, apparently it's a musical or something. Maybe you read it in school, or maybe your friend introduced you to it and it took over your entire life and personality for a few months. Not speaking from experience or anything.
You lie!
Anyways, I watched the movie before I read the book and absolutely loved it, of course. But after I read the book, I noticed that there are differences between the movie and how they're described in the book. And while it's not very significant, I thought it would be a cool idea to draw all the characters exactly how they're described in the book. So I'll stop yapping and get started.
No. I'm gonna go hunt some action. Little kids are allowed.
First up, I'm going to be drawing Dallas Winston, because I feel like he's the one that they got least accurate in the movie. Here's how he's described in the book. If I had to pick the real character of the gang, it would be Dallas Winston. Dally. I used to like to draw his picture when he was in a dangerous mood, for then I could get his personality down in a few lines. He had an elvish face with high cheekbones and a pointed chin, small, sharp animal teeth, and ears like a lynx. His hair was almost white, it was so blonde, and he didn't like haircuts or hair oil either, so it fell over his head in wisps, and kicked out in the back in tufts, and curled behind his ears and along the nape of his neck. His eyes were blue, blazing ice cold with a hatred of the whole world. Dally had spent 3 years on the wild side in New York and had been arrested at the age of 10. He was tougher than the rest of us, tougher, colder, meaner. He's also described as anything but handsome, which I think is crazy work considering they casted Matt Dillon to be him, which, I mean, Matt Dillon is a very, conventionally attractive actor. Besides the obvious things, though, like the hair color and eye color, I feel like his personality was really accurate in the movie. Also, I had no idea what a lynx was, so I had to look it up, but I guess it's like a kind of cat. So I just made his ears a little pointy. I tried to make him look kind of animal-like his face, just the proportions a bit different. I didn't really know what it meant by elfish, so I just made his face a little pointier than I usually draw faces, which is another difference between him and Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon has kind of more of a square face. Yeah, I don't know. You don't cast Matt Dillon for someone who's supposed to be not attractive or not handsome. I think that's it's kind of crazy. Anyways, enough of me ranting about Matt Dillon and his good looks, but yeah, so I just made his hair blonde. I made it kind of the same color as his skin tone, just more like yellow, I guess, because it's so light that it's almost white. And his eyes, I made them blue. I gave him kind of sharp teeth because of the animal-like teeth, or whatever it says. Yeah, I really don't know how to draw jeans, so that's why they look so weird. But they don't really describe what they wear, so I just kind of guessed and gave him just a tank top and jeans and just some black shoes, I guess. Yeah, that is my book accurate Dallas Winston. I think I did as good as I possibly could have with the information.
See my house. I have, and if you had the sense of a billy goat, you'd start cleaning your house up instead of bumming around ours. Shoot, kid, if I ever did that, my mom would die of shock.
Next up is my favorite character, actually, 2-Bit or Keith Matthews, and here's how he's described in the book. 2-Bit Matthews was the oldest of the gang. He was the wisecracker of the bunch. He was about 6 feet tall, stocky in build, and very proud of his long, rusty colored sideburns. He had gray eyes and a wide grin, and he couldn't stop making funny remarks to save his life. You couldn't shut that guy up. He always had to get his 2 bits worth in, hence his name. Even his teachers forgot his real name was Keith. We hardly remembered he had one. Life was one big joke to 2-Bit. He was famous for shoplifting and his black-handled switchblade, which he couldn't have acquired without his first talent. And he was always smarting off to the cops. He couldn't really help it. Everything was just so irresistibly funny to him. He just had to let the police in on it to brighten up their dull lives. That's how he explained it to me, at least. He liked fights, blondes, and for some unfathomable reason, school. He was still a junior at 18 and a half, and he never learned anything. He just went for kicks. I liked him real well because he kept us laughing at ourselves as well as other things. He reminded me of Will Rogers. Maybe it was the grin. I actually didn't know who Will Rogers was, so I looked that up too, and yeah. I don't know. I tried to kind of just like make him smiling a lot. I don't think he really looks like Will Rogers, but the person that they casted in the movie is Emilio Estevez, which I don't think is a bad choice, but the hair color is off. They mention it multiple times that he has rusty colored sideburns, so that makes me think of more of a reddish color. Ponyboy also says multiple times that his sideburns are like too long, so I feel like they could have gone more exaggerated on that in the movie. In the book they describe him with a stocky build, so I kind of just tried to make him look a little bigger than Dally, which I hope I succeeded, but I don't know. I just assumed that by stocky they meant more like muscular, like bulky, I guess, instead of like chubby. So I didn't make him chubby because, I mean, they run around a lot and they fight. So I just assumed it meant like more muscular. So yeah, that's my version of 2-Bit. He's my favorite. Yeah.
What am I gonna say? Just act like a farm boy taking a walk or something. They'll never know. Do I look like a farm boy to you?
Last but not least is Ponyboy. Luckily we get like a lot of description of him in like the first page of the book. I was wishing I looked like Paul Newman. He looks tough and I don't, but I guess my own looks aren't so bad. I have light brown, almost red hair, and greenish gray eyes. I wish they were more gray because I hate most guys that have green eyes, but I have to be content with what I have. My hair's longer than most boys, squared off in the back and long in the front and sides, but I'm a greaser and most of my neighborhood rarely bothers to get a haircut. Besides, I look better with long hair. The actor they got to play him was Tommy Howell, which I think was pretty accurate. They got the hairstyle, like what I picture for his hairstyle, pretty accurate, just the color is wrong. A lot of these characters have like hair that's described as red, and then it changes in the movie, which is kind of funny. People also say that he looks a lot like his brother Soda Pop in the book, which he's described as very handsome over and over and over again. So he's also pretty young. He's like 14, so I tried to make him look younger than the others and a little smaller. He's described as having a good build for his age, and he says he's wearing his brother Soda Pop's shirt but with the sleeves cut off. So yeah, since he is younger, I made his eyes bigger and I gave him a smaller nose, because I mean he keeps getting described as attractive, or his brother does, and so conventionally I guess smaller noses are more attractive. Here's my final version of Ponyboy, and here's them all together. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with this video. I want to make more long form videos like this. Tell me what you think, how I did, and if you like The Outsiders and who your favorite character is. Okay, bye!